With Scarlet and Violet officially releasing out to the world, that means we are saying goodbye to the Sword and Shield era and Generation 8. Let's talk about it. Yes, the new generation of Pokemon is officially here. I know that I've been spending way too much time in front of my Switch playing the buggiest, but also the best Pokemon game to release in a very, very long time with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But when Generation 9 comes, that means that Generation 8 needs to go. Of course, we're talking about the Sword and Shield era. Today, we're going to be discussing everything about the trading card game, the video games, and anything else far and in between. Was it a success or was it a failure? ASX, what was your initial thoughts when I asked you, hey, you want to do a episode about some Sword and Shield stuff, man?
Yeah. I mean, I was excited. I would say overall, I had a very positive, experience here with the Sword and Shield era. It was the era that I came back into. I know a lot of you guys out there came back into it in the Sword and Shield era too. Collecting, playing the video games again, things like that. And I would say it was, like I said, overall positive. Really positive experience. A lot of fun products to open up. That's my favorite part of it. The TC, a lot of great games as well. I think we're going to be talking about here also. A lot of fun sets, a lot of new, kind of artworks and things that got us really excited about the TCG. And overall, I think it was really good. I definitely, there's some downsides to the Sword and Shield era as well. But overall positive for me.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that the Sword and Shield era was a success. They did a lot of things in Generation 8 that I really enjoyed. I think the Pokemon were very successful. There was a lot of very good Pokemon. As you guys know, every generation you get a pseudo-legendary. I think Dragapult was a very, very good pseudo-legendary. I mean, I would put Dragapult up there with Tyranitar, Dragonite, Metagross in that range. He was definitely one of the better Pokemon, and the fact that he was Dragon Ghost was absolutely just awesome.
Awesome typing.
Zacian and Zamazenta were very good legendaries. They were very good box art legendaries. They looked fantastic. They were very, very strong in the games when you were able to play with them. So they definitely did their deeds as legendary Pokemon. And then, of course, for Sword and Shield was the first time that we got DLC as well. After you bought Sword and Shield, instead of giving us, like a Sword and Shield 2 or anything like that, they gave us the Isle of Armor and then the Crown Tundra downloadable content, both giving us other legendary Pokemon and just new areas to play. And I really, really enjoyed the fact that you were able to, take your current roster and your current Pokemon that you spent so much time building up and leveling and getting connected to and just carrying them over to the DLC content. And then the level, everything would level up with you. And it wasn't like a super easy experience just to run through everything. Because Pokemon's about min-maxing. A lot of times you min-max your Pokemon and you just run through stuff at the end of the day. But I love the fact that they did that. I'm hoping they're going to bring the DLCs back to the into the Scarlet and Violet era instead of just giving us a second generation of the game or, just something like that. Like, I would really like to see them continue that. Both really good things. The trainers, there were some really, really good trainers. Leon was a great trainer. Hop, not so much. Could have been the worst, best friend rival that you ever had. Marnie was a fantastic character, and there was just so much to love about it. And Gigantamaxing, not my favorite. Mega Evolution was significantly better. Gigantamaxing, it really just didn't do it for me. It was my least favorite mechanic at the time. I preferred Z-moves, and I preferred Mega Evolutions by far. And Terrestrialization at this point, after I'm about 12 hours deep in Scarlet and Violet, it doesn't do much for me either. Gigantamaxing to me feels a little bit better than Terrestrialization anyway. So they did a lot of good stuff with the video games in that. So really dope. And just to continue on the video game side of things before we move on to the TCG, we also got Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl. The remakes for Generation
kind of a remix.
4. Yeah, I guess it was, right? It was the Weeby style, whatever they call that, the Chibi style. There you go. Very mediocre game. Was my least favorite remake that they've ever made. Alpha. I mean, when you put it up against like an Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, not even close. Very, very big letdown compared to those. But then they came back.
I didn't.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I didn't hear much about the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Even a week or two after it was released. So that told me that it wasn't as, it didn't seem as big. It got as big of a applause as the hype was before it came out.
I played through it. I beat it. I got really close. I did not. I gave up on completing the decks. I was really close to completing the decks, and then I got into Legends Arceus, of course. And it was just not the greatest. They kept a lot of things from that era that they shouldn't have kept in that era. Some improvements like the Underground were much better and stuff like that. But overall, the worst remake so far. Fire Red Leaf Green was great. Heart Gold Soul Silver were fantastic. And then Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby were great as well. Hopefully they go back to that style of remake as opposed to what we got for Diamond and Pearl when they bring Generation 5 remakes out. And then Legends Arceus. Huge, very different kind of a game. I would almost consider Legends Arceus almost like not a main series game, right? It's almost like a sub game, more like Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap. The Pokemon Snap remake was terrible. It's the replayability on it is just nothing. As soon as you play through that first stage, why would you even want to go back and just it was a pure nostalgia buy. I would not recommend Pokemon Snap, not even for kids. It's just not fun. It's not a fun game.
That's a bummer.
At me down in the comment section.
I had fun with the OG.
The OG one was fun. It was, But for some reason, this one just doesn't hit the same. I think we've evolved as people and fans and players and video gamers and stuff like that. It's just not there. But Legends Arceus was a huge breath of fresh air. And it was really, really fun. A lot of testing, even more open world mechanics and stuff like that. Different catch mechanics. It was a really, really cool game. I kind of put it in the same breath as Let's Go games. It was kind of part of the main series, but not really. Very successful at the end of the day. Introduction to new Pokemon and all that kind of stuff. It was really, really good. So I would probably rank on the video game side of things for Generation 8. I would give it a B+. I'd give it a B+, which is much higher than I would give a lot of the other eras. Of course, I'm a Kanto fanboy, so red and blue are like an A, right? I'm going to get a lot of shit for that in the comments.
Those are S tier. S
tier, bro. S tier. So, like, if that's the marker, I would put Sword and Shield just under that. Way outperform Generation 7 and outperform Generation 6 as well. So they're definitely going in the right direction, and Scarlet Violet is a good start. Now that I opened up my mouth and took up most of the conversation talking about the video games, ASX, how did the TCG go for you in the Sword and Shield era?
Yeah, very good. I can't remember if I mentioned this in the beginning or not, but it was my first time coming back into it, so there's a lot to learn, right? So it was interesting to see kind of how a new era opens up and presents itself and everything like that. And like I said, I've learned a lot, so now I know what to expect for this next era. But I thought it was really fun. I had a bunch of fun even early on, right? With the the early sets, Sword and Shield base, Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze, even Champion's Path. I opened up way too much of that. I guess not technically a Sword and Shield set, but a subset there.
I still consider it a Generation 8 Sword and Shield set.
Yeah, I mean it was part of the generation, right? So. Even those sets before we even had, all the trainer galleries and all of the alt arts and everything like that, had an absolute blast opening up those packs, especially Vivid Voltage. I would say that was, probably the set, that I really, probably spent too much money on, opening up packs and things like that, trying to chase that Chunkichu that I've still never pulled. Believe it or not, I've still never even pulled just the regular VMAX Pikachu. Never pulled it
yet. Seriously?
Out of it. Seriously, 100%. Like
you better go get some more chasing all boxes, the Pikachus, man.
Oh my gosh, seriously. But I really can't believe I haven't pulled that. But yeah, it was like I had a really fun time in the the early on kind of set. I feel like things kind of like it was like kind of up, going. It was like a roller coaster that had two hills, right?
Yeah.
Like the beginning of the era, everything's new, everything's fresh. People are excited about it, so we're kind of going up that hill. And then I kind of feel like around Shining Fates is when it just like it dropped real fast for us, and we weren't expecting that.
What I would say to that, and then I'll let you continue, is I feel like the build up for Shining Fates was literally one of the peaks of the Sword and Shield era, right? People were so excited for Shining Fates to come out after Hidden Fates' massive success. They were like, oh my gosh, this is Hidden Fates 2.0. Oh, yeah. It wasn't, right? Let's be honest. It just
far from it.
Yeah, not even close. And the hype generating, around Shining Fates really created one of those peaks. And yes, I agree with you. After Shining Fates was a letdown, I think we started to see the downward trend on that roller coaster.
Yeah, because then right after that, we had Battle Styles, which was, when it first came out, I mean, it wasn't like a super, super hype set. I think, it got that, new set hype, right? And, I think what really helped it was it introduced us to the alternate arts, right? That's the very first alternate arts we had, the Tyranitar, the, oh my gosh, the 2 Urshifus, and there's one more. You guys are going to kill me. I can't remember this one. There might have been 2 more. Can you remember the other one?
No, there was a couple, but those are the big 3. Those are the top 3 cards. The Empoleon is up there as well. That's the one you're thinking of.
Yeah, so I think that, and I think a lot of you would agree with me out there. I think that was when things, it really started to turn around. It may not have seemed like that with Battle Styles, but that was the introduction to the alternate arts, right? So then we got Chilling Rain, which has turned into Chilling Pain for most of us as well. Like 17 alt arts or something.
Great set, but my God,
it's a great set. Great set. Terrible pull rates. Made an awesome video on it here on the channel. Go check that out. It's a great investment set, for sure. With all those alt arts in it. But after that, really after Chilling Reign, the floodgates opened. We got Evolving Skies, which is an anomaly of a set here in the Sword and Shield era. There's just no set in Sword and Shield era.
I still don't get it either. Like I don't know why it's that high. It shouldn't be as big as it is. It's a great set. It's the really best set, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah. It's the pull rates for me. I know like a lot of people out there. There's a bunch of you guys out there that I've seen in the comments talking. You got the Moonbreon. I know you have one of them as well, at least one or 2. And, I've not had anywhere near the lucky you guys have. I don't think I've even pulled. I've not even pulled an alt art out of Evolving Skies, and there's like 15 of them or 16 of them or something in that set. But yeah, after that, it's like I said, the floodgates opened. Every set after that felt a lot better. We got the Trainer Gallery with Brilliant Stars, and like really after that, openings became a lot more fun. Even if you're not getting like big pulls, like big money pulls. It's not always about that, right? I just talked about that in the video today. It's about having fun. So like, even if you're getting, $1, $2, $3, like, just Trainer Gallery pulls, at least you're getting a pull, right? It's not a reverse rare or reverse hollow, or something like that. It feels a little bit more special, of a set when you got an extra chance to, pull something that's just different than our, normal commons, uncommons, non-hollow rares, things like that. So, overall, I think they made a lot of fantastic decisions here in the Sword and Shield era. Even with all of the, struggles that they had to go through. We haven't even mentioned it yet, but this was like one of the craziest eras for like supply issues and things like that.
Wild.
For these cards, like basically Sword and Shield. Well, maybe not as much Sword and Shield base. That was pretty easy to find in the beginning.
Well, but what really happened with Shining Fates, like we were talking about.
I was gonna say, yeah. So around that time,
yeah, yep. I agree with you 100% when coming to the Sword and Shield for the TCG. It was a big roller coaster for sure, but.
Yeah,
it went from a roller coaster to kind of looking like stairs upwards because they got better at what they were doing. And nobody anticipated what happened in 2020, right? Which is right around when Sword and Shield first released. And you're right, it didn't quite start hitting on all cylinders at Sword and Shield base and Rebel Clash, right? It was still kind of like, you could easily find those. Now, Darkness Ablaze had a lot of intrigue because that was our first Charizard, right? So
yes.
The Charizard VMAX Chase really, really helped and got a lot of people interested. And then Champion's Path hit, right? And it had the 2 massive Charizard pulls inside. It was our first Rainbow Charizard since Burning Shadows, and it was our first Shiny Charizard since Hidden Fate. So they gave us 2 huge chase cards to go in one special set that people were clamoring for, and there was so much hype around it, and that was really that first tick mark in the belt of hype, right? And then something strange happened, and that was COVID. All those things happened, and people really started to put all of their money into like tangible assets as opposed to I'm going in the stock market, because it was so volatile and so crazy. And one of the things that started happening is people started going into Pokemon cards. And it started with sports cards. People couldn't afford sports cards anymore because it got so expensive to be part of the sports card hobby. People moved on to other things like Pokemon, right? A couple of sentences from Gary V, a couple of sentences from Logan Paul got people so hyped and so interested in the Pokemon TCG, it exploded. And then Shining Fates hit, and that was like, holy shit, this is amazing. You couldn't find Shining Fates anywhere out at the shelves at all. And that's what prompted Pokemon to release that statement, hey, we're going to be printing more cards. We're going to start printing the sets, quote unquote, that people want, aka Shining Fates. And it started this mass production of Pokemon cards where we're at right now, where you can still find them on the stores readily now. And that's when all of this happened. And there was a dip for Battle Styles, Chilling Reign. Absolutely, right? You can't disagree with that. The alternate art took a while to catch on, believe it or not. Like,
it did. Yeah.
The Urshifus were fantastic. That Sleepy T-Tar was great. And then Chilling Reign happened, and it was like, okay, the Blaziken is pretty cool. But, like, overall, it didn't explode until Evolving Skies, like you were saying.
Right.
Still don't get it. Like I said, shouldn't be that expensive, but it is.
No.
And now we're off to the races where these yeah, it's so bad. Where these alternate art cards are the only reason why people are collecting Pokemon TCG. It really is. Yeah. And then Trainer Gallery made everything a much better experience to open up, like you were saying. So if you had to give Generation 8 a grade for the TCG, right, what would you give it?
Ooh, I would give it a solid like 8 out of 10. I would say 8 out of 10. I mean, there's definitely some things that
freaking ASX, bro. I give a letter grade to the games. I plan on giving a letter grade over here, and then he just drops an 8 out of 10 on me.
8 out of 10. I mean, what's that?
You can't give me a B. You can't give me a B plus, an A minus. This guy is just 8 out of 10. We're gonna go numbers. Like, screw you and your letters, Travis. We're going numbers.
I mean, that sounds good to me.
That's like a B minus.
We'll go with. I was gonna say we'll go with like a B minus. Yeah. I would say like set wise, artwork wise is definitely what helps that number for me kind of, rise up there.
Yeah.
The big thing for me and, why I can't really justify going higher than that would definitely be the quality. We saw a huge quality, downturn right about when, and probably a little bit before, but right about when they started turning on every single printer that they had, building new facilities to accommodate all the new, demand for all these products. So, that's the big thing for me. I mean, we're still getting cards that are, crunched on the edges and got terrible whitening on the back, fresh out of the pack.
On the back is so bad. It makes me so mad when I'm just like doing the little pack trick and I see white dots all over the back. Ugh.
I pulled what was it? I can't remember. It was like, it was a Mew V box. I just opened up off camera.
Oh, something related to Fusion Strike? Yeah. Worst set quality ever.
No. What did I say? I'm sorry. I said Mew VMAX because I got the Mew VMAX deck right here. The Mew V box, the exclusive one from
Fusion Strike in there, wasn't there?
Opened up that. No, it's Two Lost Origin, Rebel Clash, and a Sword and Shield base. What a random pack selection in there. But the in terms of the quality, the Keldeo card that comes in there, I think it's no, that's the Mew. I'm sorry, it was a Kyurem box.
What's going on with you, bro?
Comes in that one.
Are you drunk?
I don't know. My head is like everywhere. There's too many promos.
Nate's drinking tonight.
But yeah, it literally looked like that holo card that I got in there. The promo looked like somebody like threw it on the floor, stepped on it, like slid their foot on it, like a bunch of times.
It was probably one of the ones that they were trying to sneak out, and like, hey, look at this cool thing coming in.
Look at this cool
leak these pictures on Twitter. Yeah.
I'm going to leak this Keldeo.
We'll put this up on eBay 3 months before it comes out for $2,000.
Right. Man, I wish I had that card here still, but it was rough. Like the holo was all scratched up on it. Yeah. I mean, it's just a promo. It's not going to be worth anything.
But it's like, the principle of the thing.
Like that.
It's the principle of it.
I mean, that's the card that faces out. Like people see that on the box, But whatever.
It's the
I don't
principle.
know.
We pay
That's
enough
gonna be a
damn
big
money
thing.
to be able to get
Seriously.
cards in good condition, especially for buying them straight from the retailer shelves or on their online sites. I agree with you.
Yeah.
You know, I would give a solid, what can we do? Measurements now? Inches, feet. What else? What are the ranking systems we have?
Give it a solid 9 inches.
Ooh, weird.
Ooh. Oh, I mean, I didn't mean to take it there.
That's
but
rare.
We're gonna go there.
That's rare. Oh, sorry. All right. I give it a good. I'm with you. I'd give it a B plus. Okay, I'd give it a B plus.
Yeah.
Some of the positives: introduction of the alternate arts, bringing back the trainer gallery. Very, very good decisions. Bringing back shiny cards, radiant cards. Good stuff, right? Negatives, obviously, I'm with you. Print quality, straight trash, hot garbage. They need to do a better job for quality control. On top of that, another negative, we don't need 26 different Charizard cards. That's a negative for me as well.
Definitely. I'm right there with you.
You know, and they just
Too many.
they ramped down the beginning of it. The first few sets are just not intriguing sets. They're just not. It's zero fun opening Sword and Shield, Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze. I mean, because Darkness Ablaze is if you don't get the Charizard VMAX, it's a terrible set. I mean, literally, and even that card is going sub $35 right now, which is insane.
Craziness. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so I'd give it a solid B plus. I think there's some room for improvement. If they could have fixed the quality issues, I would have given it an A minus. And the hollow pattern for this generation was hot ass. Like it was really bad. It was the worst hollow pattern ever. Do something with that, Pokemon. Do something with that. I mean, even the Japanese cards have hollow borders as well. Like, do something along those lines.
Yes, those look great.
It needs to be better.
I remember opening up my first Sword and Shield base pack and being like, ugh. As soon as I saw the hollow
look at the difference between
like,
the hollows on the Japanese. Like, it's just
so much better.
It's so good. But anyway.
Yeah.
So let us know down in the comment section, guys. What did you guys grade the Sword and Shield era, Generation 8 overall? We're talking about video games and the trading card game. No anime here. We just don't have time. I have a hard enough time sneaking in Game of Thrones, and I love that stuff. So
same here.
Let us know down in the comment section, guys. We love chatting with you guys. We try to reply to every single comment that we possibly can. I want to know what you guys thought was the best part of Generation 8 and the worst part of Generation 8. And make sure you guys drop a sub here to Next Level TCG. On YouTube, we post 5 to 6 videos per week. Full-length videos, guys. And we're up to like 2 shorts a day. There is so much Pokemon TCG content here on the channel. If you are a Pokemon card fan, you don't want to miss it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content, guys. ASX, send us home, my friend.
Yeah, just one quick announcement because I always do this like last minute. I'm planning on going live this weekend on Saturday. So don't miss the Friday stream with Travis. It's an awesome stream. We got so many people on there. Packs getting ripped. Awesome polls. And then I'm going to be giving away some mystery boxes and doing some awesome, quiz trivia giveaway stuff like that on Saturday.
You know what
so
I'm
it's
doing?
going to be an awesome time.
I'm giving away a mystery pack as well.
Ooh,
and
spicy.
I am making sure that my mystery pack is better than yours. So I'm going to throw that out there right now. I'm challenging you to a mystery pack off Friday.
All right.
Friday, Travis is giving away mystery Pokemon cards on the stream. Saturday, Nate's giving away mystery Pokemon cards on the stream. So make sure you guys join both streams so you can vote who had the better mystery pack. Remember, guys.
Awesome. I like it.
If you want to level up, you got to be kind. You got to be yourself.